The Space Wolves emerged into an area more brightly lit than the rest of the bay. Men worked here on massive scaffolds, transporting the crates like ants bearing rocks. These must be rations, Ragnar thought, or maybe machine parts or something else, he added. He became suddenly aware that he had no idea what they might be. The workings of the ship were indeed a mystery to him. Close by, on ground level, were a number of men. They worked a winch that lowered a small platform down the scaffold, bringing crates to the floor. Another group of rough-looking men supervised the work. As the two space wolves came into view, one of the men looked up. Ragnar sensed the tension in him. The man was ready to do violence. A near imperceptible change in Sven's stance told him the other Bloodclaw had detected as well. Despite his knowledge, Ragnar forced himself to look relaxed, even though he was ready to spring at a heartbeat's warning. "What have we here?" asked the man. He was wearing a uniform that marked him as part of the ship's main crew. He carried no sidearm or any obvious weapon, but the heavy crowbar he held in his hand would be an adequate substitute. Ragnar thought, "Some of the Emperor's chosen, sacred space marines, eh?" The tone was scornful, but Ragnar sensed fear in the man too. It intensified when he used the words space marines. It seemed the reputation of the Emperor's finest preceded them. "Greetings. We are proud to be members of the Space Wolves," Ragnar said smoothly in Gothic. He sensed other members of the group were getting ready to fight now. He was not quite sure why, but their hostility was obvious, and all of these men had crowbars in their hands. "And don't you bloody well forget it," Sven added. Inwardly, Ragnar winced. Tact and diplomacy were not skills in which Sven excelled. His tone made the men around them more hostile. What by Russ was going on here? "Cocky pups, aren't you?" said the crew leader. "Maybe we should knock some of that cockiness out of you." "You're welcome to bloody well try," Sven said, not at all bothered by the fact that they were outnumbered almost 10-1. Ragnar knew he had reason for his confidence. These were normal men armed with crowbars. He and Sven were space marines, and they carried bolt pistols. "Big words for a man armed with pistol," sneered the officer. "I wouldn't need it to deal with a cockroach like you," Sven said. "Nor your dozen girlfriends neither. Ragnar, if you would step aside for a moment, I'll teach these trolls a lesson." Arithmetic was not a skill that Sven had much time for either, Ragnar noted. Still, he had to admire Sven's style. The number of their enemies in no way daunted him. "Arrogant whelp," another Star Stealer sneered. This one was a burly, brutal man. A white scar ran the length of his tanned face. Ragnar had enough experience of wounds to know a knife scar when he saw one. Ragnar felt a sudden urge of anger in himself, the beast struggling to free. Why were these men trying so hard to provoke them? They surely must know they had no chance in combat. Perhaps because he was concentrating so hard on the sneering sailors, Ragnar almost missed the major threat until it was too late. Only the whoosh of air and a shadow growing on the ground near him gave him the slightest warning.